All right, it looks like that press conference out of Gastonia involving an officer-involved shooting is just about to start. Let's go ahead and go to this live on Live Impact News on WCNC+.
Gastonia Police Department. I'm going to go over a brief statement about the officer-involved shooting that we had in the early morning hours. Gastonia Police Department officers were in an officer-involved shooting at a home located at 4356 Hickory Hollow Road here in Gastonia. At 10:32 p.m. on Thursday, July the 17th, patrol officers were dispatched to a call of an assault happening at a home. When officers arrived minutes later, they encountered a male relative of the suspect in the driveway of the home, who indicated that the suspect in the home was armed and had fired at least one shot. The suspect, now identified as Jeremy Jackson Bonham, date of birth 11/12/85, appeared from the rear of the home in the dark and opened fire on Gastonia police officers and others with a rifle. Multiple Gastonia officers returned fire, killing the suspect. No Gastonia officers were injured. Per our routine procedure, all of our officers have been placed on paid administrative leave pending the outcome of the investigation by the State Bureau of Investigations. And any other questions can just refer to.
How many officers are on leave?
Right now we have 10 officers on leave.
10 officers on
Yes.
leave. And I'm assuming there was a standoff also that preceded the shooting. Can you tell me something about that?
There was time. I know that it's the full details of everything, but yeah, there was a time between the officers getting there, meeting with the relative out in the driveway, and trying. Typically, we're not going to be quick to rush in on anything. Emotions and reasoning. You want emotions to come down and things to see if we can. A lot of times, whether you negotiate or things of that nature to try to de-escalate, and times on everybody's side, it benefits us, and as things go on, a lot of times we can avoid situations like this, but this wasn't the case.
How long did negotiations last before the suspect fired shots?
I know it probably happened right before midnight, I would say, and so they arrived at 10:32.
So an hour and a half.
Or so. Yeah.
The male relative that was encountered by officers outside the home, was that a child?
No.
Okay.
If you can, Chief, were there any commands or anything given to the guy with the rifle before he fired, or after, or before police fired? That's under investigation. It appears from just my knowledge that I have, and which I have not viewed everything, but it does appear that the suspect came from the rear side of the residence, shooting at the officers, and the officers then returned fire, killing him. And did they have any advance notice that he was at the rear before shots were fired? Or
No, when it was very, very dark,
Yeah.
and they couldn't have seen him.
Just speak to the unpredictability and the danger of approaching these sort of situations for officers.
Yeah, it's extremely dangerous, especially anytime there's a firearm involved in anything, or even any situation. You always have to assume that there's going to be something, and be on the watch for dangerous situations that could eventually hurt anyone. So they're trained for that, and that's what they look for, and then they're trained to react to whatever type of threat, whether it's physical or a weapon involved or whatever.
How big is a relief from you when you hear this major situation going on, there's shots fired, and you find out that all of your officers are safe?
Well, it is a relief. We never want to. I've been on the other end of that where officers have been injured. That's not a good phone call. It's definitely concern. Any situation like that, and any life that is taken, or any injury, is, if we can avoid it, that's our ultimate goal, is for everybody to go home safely.
Did the suspect have a criminal record?
I have no idea, sir.
10 officers?
10 officers.
So that's going to have lingering effects on manpower.
Yes, that is definitely a challenge, but we do have, I can tell you, we've got a lot of good relationships with law enforcement across the county and outside of our county that are more than willing to help us out in the event we were to need anything. So we've got great relationships with other local law enforcement agencies.
Have police been to that home before?
I couldn't tell you that, ma'am. I've not looked into that.
Chief, were there any, I know we heard something about a possibility of a flashback, were there any attempts made to get this individual out of the house before he ends up firing a shot?
Yeah, to get him out of the house,
Yes.
yeah, I mean, there was a lot of, I know that there was talking,
Yes.
whether it be intercom or something, but that's all I know. The details, the fine details, it's going to be up to the SBI to determine that.
You guys, you got to do your job, but at the same time, I know it's got to be hard. This guy's a veteran, so it's kind of like one of your own. You know, you guys taking on any mental health help that these officers will be getting?
Oh, yes, definitely. As far as mental health, I mean, I can tell you, I can't tell you the state of anyone, but I can definitely say mental health is a real issue across our country, across the world, really, and that we treat it very seriously here at the Gastonia Police Department. And anything, we have peer support teams, we have other counseling, things of that nature to help anyone that might be struggling with whatever issue. Our employees are very important to us. They're our most valuable asset. Without our employees, we're nothing. And it's going to be hard to provide that community service if we don't have good, healthy employees. So we do everything, take that very seriously.
I'm trying not to hog everything, but Chief, again, about 10:30, about 2:30 is when the shooting happened. Is that roughly about it?
No, it's before, right around midnight or after a little bit. I'm not 100% sure on the timing.
And if you can, for surveillance sake, when something like that happens, we know you're negotiating, but you're also surveilling. Can you talk to us about the steps that you guys took in surveillance? We hear some neighbors are saying that there may be a robot used in this situation or something else.
Every possible thing that we can use. We've got a lot of tools on special teams, from drones to robots to, and I don't know specifically what we use, but anything that was applicable that we could have done. I can tell you we have very well trained special situations and patrol officers that are well equipped to try everything that we can. So as things would present themselves, which I don't know everything, they would have used whatever they had at their disposal to try to de-escalate or to gain more intelligence or information to help them solve the problem, or I wouldn't say fix the issue, but to help them to do their job.
And when they fired, was he inside or outside?
Outside
He was
the
outside,
house.
in the backyard?
Yes, he, like I say, he came from a very dark corner of the back and fired upon the officers, and they returned fire.
And do we know, it looks like from the markings on the ground that there were a lot of shots fired in one area. Were police all in one specific area up front when that happened?
Well, yes. I would imagine they were all over, but I would, behind cover for sure. So they're going to be grouped behind certain objects and things to provide cover and concealment.
And there was an evacuation, I think, for a gas leak, but I'm not sure if it's related to you guys at all. There were some homes that were evacuated. Did you guys ask for an evacuation during that time?
I know that there was a gas leak, not 100% sure, but believed to be maybe from the gunfire at some point, and there was a strong odor of gas, and we requested city fire to come out there. The leak was stopped and everyone was safe, and anybody that would have needed to be evacuated, I'm sure where it was.
And I know that the bullets were trained on this individual, but it sounds like at least one bullet might have hit a home behind the suspect's home. Do you know anything about that?
I don't, but I'm not saying that it's not impossible for something like that. I mean, it could have happened, but I'm not aware of it.
Any additional injuries or wounds at all as a result of the shooting that happened last night?
Not that I've been briefed on. No, sir.
He was a veteran?
I'm not 100% sure.
How many weapons were found?
I did not do the search. The SBI would have done that whole investigation. That would be a question better suited for them.
And with your situation, the 10 shots were fired, the 10 officers that are on leave represent 10 guns discharged, I take it, correct?
Yes,
Yeah, because typically you don't put folks on leave who don't fire weapons.
correct. All right, well, thank you very much. If y'all have any other further questions down the road,
Did you mention an internal investigation? You guys, is there going to be an internal investigation also into this?
well, we always look at that. It's the SBI's, they will do the investigation and give their report to us, and then if there is something that wasn't right or policy or something of that nature, then that would be something that would come later through our investigation. But yes, there's always an investigation, but we have to have the investigating agencies' information and that report before we can proceed with ours.
Anything else from anybody else? That's good.
Thank you very much. If y'all have any questions, feel free to reach out to Bill, and he'll take care of it. Hope y'all have a great day. Is this somebody's glasses by any chance?
No, they
Oh,
were on the
okay.
podium.
And you've been watching a live press conference from the police chief at Gastonia PD, giving an update on last night's officer-involved shooting at a residence where a child called 911. So they will not be releasing that recording to dispatch. And it was a relative of the suspect involved here. So more coming up on our midday on WCNC Charlotte News coming up at 11:30. And we'll continue to update the web article on WCNC.com.